Morning children, today we are going to start a new chapter and the chapter name is Atomic Structure. So let's start it. Children, we have learned in our previous classes about atom. What is an atom? The smallest particle of a matter is known as atom. So anything is made up by a tiny particle, this tiny particle is called atoms. Further, we have learned that what is a matter? Anything which occupies space and having a weight is known as matter. Now come to the point that earlier views on atomic structures. The very first person who described an atom was ancient Greek and his name was Democritus. Democritus was an alchemist and he was the first person who gave the name atom. What he had done? He take a gold foil and he cut the gold foil into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces. Eventually the stage has come that no more splitting is possible. So he took a one piece among these all pieces and he gave the name atom. That means individual or lone. Afterwards, there was an Indian philosopher whose name was Maharishi Kanad. He was an Indian philosopher. He also says same thing. He said everything is made up by tiny particle. The tiny particle is called anu. Anu means atoms. When these anus are joined together, they form Parmanu. So these are the ancient views regarding atomic structures. After Democritus and Maharishi Kanad, many scientists have given their ideas about the structure of an atom. So among these scientists, there is one more scientist. His name was Dalton. His name was John Dalton. He was an English school teacher as well as a scientist. He has done many experiments, and after experiment, he come to the conclusion, and these conclusions were known as Dalton atomic theory. What is a Dalton atomic theory? Dalton had given this atomic theory in 1808. Very first point he says everything is made up by tiny particles, and this tiny particle is called atom. Second thing he says atom neither be created nor be destroyed. Third point he says atoms are joined in small whole numbers. Fourth point he says atoms of an element are identical but they are different from other elements. For example, he says if we take a gold, then all the atoms of gold are same. If we take a silver, then all the silver atoms are identical. But if we compare the gold and silver, they both are different. Next point it says during a chemical reaction only atom can take part, and these are the Dalton atomic theories. Children, when John Dalton gave his Dalton atomic theory, nobody knows that further atoms are made up by subatomic particles, and these subatomic particles were electron, protons and neutrons. So every scientist would try to find out what is the exact structure of an atom. So among these scientists, there was one more scientist whose name was J.J. Thomson. He was performed some experiment, and when he was performing an experiment, he was found a negative charge particles, and these negative charge particle is known as electron. And how he discovered the electron, I will explain you. See. In 1897, John Dalton was performing an experiment. He took a discharge tube and he fixed two metal plates on both the side of the tube, and he connected this metal tube with a very high voltage source. Say 10,000 volt. positive terminal. So he called this positive terminal is anode. And the negative terminal of the battery is called cathode. Now, with the help of vacuum, he take out all the air which is present inside the tube. Now he sealed it. Now with the help of high voltage source, he passed an electric current in evacuated chamber. When he passed an electric current, he observed that some fluorescent green color rays are emitting from cathode to anode side. They form a cloud over anode. Because they are moving from anode to cathode side, so he called these are the cathode rays. And afterwards, he called they are electron. For this discovery of cathode rays or electron in 1906, he will receive a Nobel Prize. And that was the discovery of electron. Afterwards, he gave the properties of electron. He says, electrons are negative charge particles. Second point, he says, electron carry a one negative charge particle. Third point says, the weight of electron is negligible. Negligible means it does not have any mass or weight. So these are the properties of electrons. After the discovery of electron, everybody was confused. How does it happen that an atom contains negative charge? Because an atom is electrically neutral. So everybody are saying that there must be some positive charge particles which can cancel the effect of negative charge. So they are trying to find out these positive charge particles. So many scientists are performing the experiment. Among these scientists, there was another one scientist name was E. Goldstein. E. Goldstein was the scientist who discovered the protons. What he had done, same thing, he also took a discharge tube and he also connect two metal plates on the both the sides of the discharge tube. But from cathode plate, he took a perforated plate. Perforated means which having small pores, small holes, we can say that. So he took a perforated cathode ray and it is an anode. Same thing, by the help of vacuum cleaner or vacuum pump, he took out all the air which is present inside the tube. Now, he connect these apparatus with a very high voltage source in evacuated chamber. When he passed very high voltage around 10,000 volt, he observed that some very faint red color rays are emitting from anode to cathode side, and they form a cloud behind the cathode ray. A red color, very faint red color clouds behind the rays, cathode ray, or behind the cathode plate. He called these all are anode rays, and afterwards he called these are protons. So that is the discovery of proton. Afterwards, he gave the properties or characteristic of a proton. Very first property, protons are positive charge particles. Second, proton carry a one positive charge particle. Third property, the weight of proton is exactly the weight of one hydrogen atom. That means one atomic mass unit. That is the weight of a proton. After the discovery of electrons and protons, everybody tried to find out what are the arrangement of electron and proton in an atom. So the very first scientist who gave the arrangement of electron and proton in an atom was Thomson, J.J. Thomson. And his model is known as plum pudding model. His model is just like a plum cake. He said the spherical base of plum is a positive charge in which negative charge particle electron are emitted just like a resin of plums. And this is a positive charge base. The number of electrons and number of protons are same in an atom. That's why an atom is electrically neutral. But afterwards, this theory was discarded. When J.J. Thomson plum pudding model was discarded, many scientists are trying to find out what are the arrangement of electrons and proton in an atom. So there is a one scientist whose name was Rutherford, Ernest Rutherford. He was a British scientist. He also tried to find out the arrangement of electrons and protons in an atom. So while he performing an experiment, he found some new thing, and that new thing is known as the discovery of nucleus. What he had done, he took a very gold foil and behind the gold foil he put one screen which is covered with zinc sulfate. Now he bombarding this gold foil with alpha particles. Alpha particles is nothing, they are the nucleus of helium atom, which having a 2 positive charge. So when he bombarding the alpha particle on the gold foil, he observed 3 things. First thing, he said most of the alpha particle went straight through the gold foil. Second thing he observed, he said very few alpha particles are deflecting from their path in small angle. Third thing, he observed that very few, that means out of 1200, only one alpha particle is bounce back. So these are the observation has done by the Rutherford. After the observation, he come to the conclusion. He said most of the alpha particles pass through the gold foil because most of the space in an atom is empty. Second says, he said very few particles are deflecting from their original path in small angles because alpha particle is positive charge and the center part is also positive charge, and positive repel each other. Third point, it says very few alpha particles are bounced back because the center part is dense, hard and positive charged. Because positive repel and dense, that's why very few alpha particles are bounced back. So afterwards, he come to the conclusion that atom contain a center part and this center part is called nucleus. And the size of nucleus is extremely small as compared to the atom. That is the discovery of nucleus in an atom. After the discovery of nucleus, Rutherford the model of an atom, and he gave the model just like a solar system. In solar system, sun is at the center and 8 planets revolve around the sun in a fixed path. Same model he has given. But one thing you should remember that till now neutron were not discovered. Only electron, proton and nucleus were discovered. So the model of an atom which is given by the Rutherford is just like a solar system. In the center there is a positive charge nucleus, because nucleus contain a positive charge particle, protons. Outside the nucleus there are numerous imaginary paths. These imaginary paths are known as orbit or shell, in which negative charged electrons are revolving. He said positive charge neutron nucleus and negative charge electron are attracted by electrostatic force of attraction. That's why nucleus is stable at one place and electron revolving in a fixed path. Next thing he says, all the mass of an atom is concentrated in the nucleus of an atom because electron have negligible mass. Negligible mass means it does not have any mass. That is the Rutherford model of an atom. But this model has some drawbacks. Very first drawback and most important drawback is that he was failed to explain the stability of an atom. That is the main drawback of Rutherford model of an atom. Children, after the discovery of electron, proton and nucleus of an atom, many scientists are trying to find out the structure of an atom. Among these scientists, there was one scientist whose name was James Chadwick. He also tried to find out the structure of an atom. But instead of the structure of an atom, he found the third subatomic particle, and this third subatomic particle is known as neutron. When he was doing experiment, he took beryllium and polonium in a vacuum. When he took beryllium and polonium in a vacuum, he saw that polonium are start emitting the alpha particles, and when this alpha particle is struck on the beryllium are taken out some mysterious particles, and these mysterious particles have a property that they having a mass same as the mass of protons, but they are neutral charge particles. He called these are neutrons, and that is the discovery of neutrons. Afterwards, he gave the properties of neutrons. He said neutron are neutral charge particles. Second thing says the mass of neutron is equal to the mass of protons. Third, he says the neutron are participation in the mass of an atom. These are the properties of neutrons. After the discovery of electron, protons, neutron and nucleus of an atom, Bohr gave the model of an atom. This is called Bohr model of an atom. His model is just like a Rutherford model, but he has changed some points. What is said? He said the center part of an atom is called nucleus, which contain positive charge particle protons and neutral charge particle neutrons. Outside the nucleus, there are numerous imaginary paths. These imaginary paths are known as orbit or shell. It says the nucleus of an atom is extremely small as compared to the size of an atom. Next point it says the orbit or shell are associated with a fixed amount of energy. The orbit which is closest to the nucleus, it having a least energy, and the orbit which is further from the nucleus, it having a more energy. He gave each orbit or shell by number or names. He said the first orbit he called it is the first, second, third, fourth, or he gave the name K, L, M, N and so on. So every orbit or shell having a fixed amount of energy, and every shell and orbit having a fixed number or name of a letter. Next point is says every electrons or number of electrons are fixed in each and every orbital shell. Whenever electrons are moving from one shell to another shell, they are gaining the energy. So these are the Bohr model of an atom. Now point come, what is an atomic number? What is an atomic number? The number of proton present in the nucleus of an atom is known as atomic number. And it is denoted by letter Z. So we can say that atomic number is equal to number of protons equals to number of electrons, because a neutral atom contains equal number of protons and electrons. What is the mass number? The total number of protons and neutrons present in the nucleus of an atom is known as mass number, and mass number is denoted by letter A. So we can say that mass number is equal to number of protons plus neutrons. And all you know that number of proton equals to number of electrons, so we can say that we can also write a number of electron plus neutrons. If you know mass number and atomic number, you can easily represent any atom or any element. For example, this is called atomic notation. For example, if say X is any element, so if we always write down mass number on the superscript and atomic number on the subscript. For example, sodium. The symbol of sodium is Na. Their mass number is 23 and their atomic number is 11. So we can represent sodium is equal to 23 upon 11. For example, oxygen. Their mass number is 16 and atomic number is 8. So we can represent O, 16 and 8. This is the way we can represent any atom. The question comes, what is electronic configuration? The arrangement of electron in various orbit or shell is known as electronic configuration, and this concept was given by two scientists, Bohr and Bury, and this is known as Bohr-Bury rule. According to this rule, this says each orbit or shell are associated with fixed amount of electron, and they have given the formula for this. They have given the formula 2n square. Over here, n is the number of orbit or shell. For first shell, the value of n is 1. So 2 into 1 a whole square. So 2 into 1 whole square 1 is equal to 2. For second shell, the value of n become 2. So second shell contain maximum 8 electron. For third shell, the value of n become 3. So the third shell contains maximum 18 electron and minimum 1 electron. This is known as electronic configuration, and this is given by Bohr and Bury. By this formula, we can easily find number of electron in each orbit or shells. Now the next topic is valency. What is a valency? In very simple language, we can say that the combining capacity of an atom is known as valency. Other definition, if you say, we can say that the number of electrons are donated, accepted, or sharing is known as their valency. If we see the valency, all metals show positive valency because they donate electrons, while all the non-metals show negative valency because they are accepting the electrons. So those who donate the electrons, they become positive charge. That's why all the metals have positive valency, and all the non-metal accept the electron. That's why they are having a negative valency. Now question comes, what is variable valency? See, what first thing I will tell you one thing. Only metal show variable valency. Non-metal never show variable valency. And what is variable valency? There is some element which can show more than one valency. They are said to be a variable valency. For example, copper. Copper show two valency. Copper 1 and copper 2. Sometimes they donate 1 electron, sometimes they donate 2 electrons. So their valency is 2. Iron. The valency also 2 and 3. Sometimes iron donate 2 electrons, sometimes iron donate 3 electrons. So their valency are 2 and 3. So such kind of element which having a more than one valency, they are said to have variable valency, and such kind of valency is known as variable valency. The topic on what is ions. An atom that carry a positive or negative charge due to the loss or gain of electrons are known as ions. Those atoms which donate electrons, they are called cations, and they are positive charge. That means all the metal are cations. For example, Na plus, Ca2 plus, etc. They are cations because they donate electrons. Whilst those atoms which accept electrons, they are known as anion or negative charge particle. For example, Cl minus, O2 minus, etc. They are anions. That means all the non-metal are anions and all the metal are cations. What are radicals? An atom or a group of element which carry a positive or negative charge are known as radicals. Radicals further of two types. One is simple radical. What are simple radicals? Same kind of atoms which carry a positive or negative charge, they are called simple radicals. For example, Na plus, Cl minus, etc. Second is compound. Compound radicals. Radicals which having a group of different kind of atoms and they carry a positive or negative charge, they are called compound radicals. For example, carbonate, sulfate, nitrate. These are all are compound radicals.